High Court, of course, has ruled against that controversial face mask ban that the administration had passed, viewing that as unconstitutional. I mean, she was broached a couple of times on that very issue. And of course, China has weighed in as well, right?
Yes. There are reports now that Beijing is preparing to reinterpret the basic law, basically saying that the High Court ruling, the High Court of Hong Kong does not have the right to rule on constitutional matters when it comes to Hong Kong. We are, of course, talking about the face law ban that has been enacted under emergency regulations here in Hong Kong. The High Court says that the ban itself was far too wide sweeping in fact that it had curtailed the constitutional rights and freedoms of citizens. Remember, the ban itself is a face mask ban on all protests, whether they be violent or whether they be legal. And the courts, has said that this should not happen here in Hong Kong. Remember, this particular ruling, of course, seen by many as, for example, giving the wrong signal to the radical protesters that they were right all along to defy the mask ban. And of course, the other signal it sends is that the court systems here in Hong Kong, which has judicial independence, might be a bit too lenient towards the protest action that has been going on for some time now. Now, the government, at a further date, is likely, it hasn't confirmed this, at a further date, is likely to appeal this ruling to the Court of Court of Appeal, and then possibly to the Court of Final Appeal. But before that happens, if at the Court of Appeal the government doesn't get a good result, it is likely that Beijing might step in to reinterpret the basic law. That's Hong Kong's mini constitution. Remember, Beijing has already done this 5 times since 1997, the handover of Hong Kong back to China. And this, every time it's been done, it has been highly controversial. We are also likely to see lots of anger on the streets because Hong Kong was promised judicial independence, a large degree of freedoms when it comes to governing itself. And of course, Beijing stepping in to interpret its mini-constitution, again seen as the heavy-handedness of Beijing coming in and sweeping in onto Hong Kong, which is, of course, the extradition bill, another example of that happening. So it might likely add fuel to fire in this case.